Hello there, YouTube. This is Josh the Effing Newbie, and today, first off, I just want to say, hope you all had a Merry Christmas for those that celebrate it. Have a Merry Christmas. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, and hopefully Santa or whoever that special someone is to you brought you whatever you wanted for Christmas. Uh, we're going to do a little bit of a tech tutorial today. Around Thanksgiving time, uploaded a video showcasing the Cemu emulator playing Xenoblade Chronicles X on that emulator at 4K internal resolution. And after posting the video, I've had a couple viewers kind of ask some questions about how to get it running themselves, and seemed to be a little bit of confusion, a little bit of issues getting it running. So I figured today I'm going to do a little bit of a tech tutorial on how to get Xenoblade Chronicles X running on the Cemu emulator on your Windows PC. I'm sure this would work with a Linux PC, as I do know Cemu program or project does support Linux. However, I don't know anything about running software on Linux, so I will only be showing this for Windows 10 PCs, although I'm sure this same procedure would work for Windows 7. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is go download your Cemu emulator here. Alright, download Cemu. Make sure you download the latest version. The video I uploaded back in Thanksgiving, the latest version was 1.14.0. Now the latest version is version 1.150 Echo, and I'm going to link all of this in the description below, so please click on those links. I've already downloaded it, and I've extracted the contents here to my desktop here with Cemu 1.15.0. The second file we're going to need is, aside from Cemu, is a program called Cemu Hook. Now, this version of Cemu Hook says it's for 1.140. However, this will work with 1.15.0. Okay, so that's been confirmed. So even though it says in the folder description 1.14.0, it will work for version 1.15.0. Alright, so you want to download that. Download it from here. Click either one. Make sure you click on the one that says 1.15.0. Download it to your desktop and extract the contents here. You're going to need that Cemu Hook basically in order to hook the graphics packs into your application. If you don't use this, it will not work. Okay? The next file that you're going to need is, well, we won't get to that yet. The next thing you're going to need is your graphics packs. Okay, so your Cemu graphics packs. These graphics packs basically allow you to run the game at different resolutions, allow you to enable certain graphical effects. There's even a mod that allows you to run Xenoblade Chronicles X at 60 FPS instead of the native 30 FPS that the game engine was designed to run at. It's kind of experimental, so I don't recommend using the 60 FPS mod, and plus you need a really beefy processor to do it. So we're going to leave the 60 FPS graphics pack mod alone. We're just going to utilize certain graphics packs that are going to enhance visual quality and some other features. Okay, so you want to download this. it says Cemu version 1.14.0 version 3. It does not have an update of saying it's operating with 1.15.0, but assuming that Cemu Hook that was initially designed for 1.14.0 is still working on 1.15.0, and I haven't heard otherwise, these graphics packs should work. Okay. All right. So don't quote me on it, but should work. Your mileage may vary. All right, and then the last thing we're going to download here is a special download from GITechFX for the XCX Cmu graphics pack. And so this file, we're actually not going to use the graphics packs that are in here, nor are we going to use the reshade shaders. The main thing we actually want this download for is this ini file, XCX GITechFX for Cemu-Reshade 3.06. So this ini, even though it's for an older version of Reshade, it will work with the newest version of Reshade. Okay, and which brings me to the final thing. The last thing you want to get is you want to download the latest version of Reshade. Okay, do not use the Reshade shaders from GITechFX's graphics pack download. Download the newest version of Reshade from the website here, and the latest version is version 4.0.2. Okay, so we've got all of our components. The last thing you're going to need, and obviously the most important, is either a download or a ripped backup of the Xenoblade Chronicles X game itself. I am not going to tell you where to get this or how to download it. The other thing you're going to need besides that is the latest version of you're going to need the latest version of the update for the game, or else the graphics packs will not work. Okay, especially if you do decide that you want to operate the 60 FPS mod, you will need that latest version. Okay, what I will say is this: if you download it from a third-party source, you are going to need the Lodine version. Okay, which means basically it's decrypted. And along with needing the Lodine version, and that means you're going to have to decrypt it. So if you download it third party, make sure you download a Lodine version. If you just do a raw rip or dump, or you download a raw dump through something like Wii U USB helper, which is how I got my update, my latest update for the game. Don't quote me on what the latest version of the update is. I'll show it when I bring it up, but you gotta have that latest update version. If you don't, it won't work. Okay. The main thing being is, let's see here. Alright, so that says version 32. That is not the latest update. The one you're going to need is this one, version 48. And if you download it through something like Wii U USB helper, you will have to extract it and decrypt it. So basically it decrypts it into a usable version that the emulator can use. The raw dump will not work. So the main thing is it needs to have this meta folder in here from here in that meta folder, there's basically the meta XML that will basically allow you to run the update. Okay. So if your update data doesn't say version 48, you don't have the latest update data. Okay. And I'll show you what version it is when I actually load it up. Okay. So you will need the game. You'll need the latest update, which is version 48. And if you want or have the DLC main thing for the DLC is that it basically has the texture pack. So the texture pack was mostly designed for when you ran the game on the disk, and it allowed it to load it faster. You won't need it, but it actually helps. Really, running this on Cemu, it's more dependent on the game building its own shader cache. And for the game to build its own shader cache, you basically just have to play the game and run around to different areas in the world. And eventually, your graphics card will basically dump its own shader cache. And then each time you load the game, it will load those shaders that you've compiled, and it will run better each time you run it. Okay? When you go to a new area, you may see some slowdowns here and there. That may happen. Just something to be aware of. Okay? Alright, so now that we got all our files, alright, and again, I cannot and I will not link these files for legal reasons, okay? You're going to have to either, dump them yourself and then decrypt them. You can use USB helper to do that. You can download them through USB helper, but I am not going to link how to or where to get these. Okay? So please don't ask me. You got to find your own copies of the game. All right? Once we get all our files, first thing we're going to do is we extracted our folders here, and I have my Cemu folder, and what I'm going to do, there's no installer or anything, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy everything here from my folder in my desktop, and I've already got a folder set up, so it's on my second SSD here, my 2.5-inch SSD, and it's called Emulators. I have a folder for Cemu. Now, I've already got 1.14.0 installed, so what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to copy and paste, because I've already got profiles and stuff set up, and I've got certain DLCs set up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste all of this stuff. Copy and paste. And I'm going to replace all the files in the destination. Okay, so it's going to replace game profiles, graphics packs. Right now, I've already got the graphics packs installed, and it is the version for 1.14. So I'm not going to reinstall those, but they're already in here. Okay, basically all these folders here. The folders that were updated just overwrote my old files here. Okay, but I still keep all my settings and all that good stuff. Okay, but if you don't, all you're going to do is create a folder and a directory for Cemu, and you're going to dump all of this stuff into that folder. Okay, like I said, mine's already set up. So for obvious reasons, I don't want to completely delete all my stuff here. I'm just going to overwrite with the new files, okay? But if you're doing it from scratch, you're going to create a directory folder and just dump that stuff straight in there. There's no installer, okay? Okay, so the next thing we need to put in is our graphics packs. So I'm going to take my graphics packs that I've downloaded. and you can do one of two things. You can either rename this folder to just graphics packs, because if you see here, Cemu folder, you have a graphics packs folder. When you first install it, it's going to be empty except a zip of example pack zip. Okay? And then you'll have your example pack. Alright? Please don't ask me if you can put in just a whole zip drive or zip file, because I don't. I extract the folder, and all I do is I select all, copy, and then I paste them here into this graphics pack folder. As you can see here, mine are already installed, and it's already the same version that I showed you to download. Okay, but maybe not, because this says graphics packs 196 and this is graphics packs 272. So maybe I might actually need to paste these in. Okay, so I'll tell you what, just to be safe, here's the thing. If you are replacing, as I am apparently, if you're replacing an older version of graphics packs, you need to delete them. You need to delete the old ones, get rid of them. I don't know why that's taking so long. Just delete already. Okay. So you need to delete those, and you're going to need to put the new ones in there. So here are my new ones. I'm going to copy and pasta right into my graphics pack folder. Alright, just like that. But this is the thing. When they tell you that you need to replace graphics packs to the newest version, you got to do just like I showed you and delete the old ones. Do not do an overwrite. Just delete the old ones and then paste the new ones in there. Okay? That's just for the graphics packs. You have to do them that way. Okay, so we're going to go back into our Cemu folder. We've got our graphics packs in. The next thing we need to do is to dump our contents of Cemu Hook, latest version of Cemu Hook, download it, go into your folder here, copy, and just paste that right into here. Now, I've already got it installed. I'm just going to go ahead and overwrite everything. Okay? But the main thing is that DBG help DLL and the Keystone DLL, those need to go in there. Okay? So once you got that, you're good. So now that we've dumped our Cemu Hook folder contents into our main Cemu folder, we're now going to install a couple things here. Now, first things first, with your GITech, well, we'll do that one last. We'll do GITechFX last. The next thing we're going to want to do is install Reshade shaders. But before we put in Reshade, I want you to open up the folder for GITechFX's XCX Cmu graphics pack. We are not going to use the graphics packs. We're not going to use the Cemu-Res calculator or even the Reshade shaders because they're all outdated. However, we are going to need this ini file for the Reshade, because we're going to open it up. Okay, you just open it with a text editor. Any text editor will do. You're going to open it up, and you're going to look here at your techniques. Okay, your techniques. You have FXAA, Clarity, LumaSharpen, Tonemap, and Cartoon. Alright, so this part's very important, and you need to listen to this. When you install Reshade for the first time, you have the option. You can download all of the Reshade packs, basically. Do not do that. Do not download all the plugins. In fact, the less plugins you download, the better. One, it's going to take a while to download all of the graphics packs or the reshader packs, the plugins, the shaders, okay? So, the less you install, the better. And right now, we're just trying to get this running for Xenoblade Chronicles X. And these 5 are the main ones that get used, okay? If you wanted, you could download FXAA, but from most of the reports that I have heard, FXAA causes problems with the emulator. So just stick to FXAA for now. Okay? That's just my advice. Okay, so you're going to go here for your installer. You click on Reshade Installer. It's going to tell you select the game. You're going to go to your Cemu folder here. And you're going to pick Cemu, and you're going to pick the rendering API. Click on OpenGL, and this is going to ask, do I want to overwrite the existing installation because I've already installed it, or uninstall Reshade? Okay, and I'm going to put yes to overwrite. Okay, so now it's going to say, do you wish to download a collection of standard effects from the GitHub? Here is where you're going to pick which shaders you're going to download. And as it says here, it's recommended to choose as few as possible. So I'm just going to pick the 5 I need according to these ini settings here. So I'm going to pick Cartoon. I'm going to pick Clarity FX. See, they're already selected because I've installed this before. I'm going to click FXAA. I'm going to click LumaSharpen. And I'm going to click Tonemap. And that's it. Okay? That's it. Nothing else. When you try running a different game, then if you want to try to experiment with some other shaders, you can. I just recommend you exercise caution because it will cause problems with the emulator depending on what you download and enable. Okay, so it says working on Cemu. It says it succeeded, which... yeah, it should have because I only downloaded 5 shader packs. Now what you're going to do here, click on Edit Reshade Settings. This gives you your effects, textures path, yada yada yada, and what you're using. See, now in this case, I've already put XCX GITechFX for Cemu-Reshade 3.06 ini in there. And so that's what it's going to use as my presets. Once you put it in there, it's going to automatically detect. And it's going to basically use that ini file. So that's good. That's a good thing. Okay. The main thing you want to check here is performance mode. Make sure you check performance mode. Alright. So once you do all that, you're going to click OK, and then you can close that out. Okay, and you're going to check a couple things here to verify that your installation went through. So the main thing you're going to look for here is OpenGL 32 DLL. You're going to have a default preset ini, but right now it's not using that. It's using my XCX GITechFX, but if you're doing the install for the first time, you will get this ini file. This is just default settings. This is basically, you select that if you just want to go back to the regular default settings, basically with nothing enabled. For this one here, if you haven't already pasted it, go into the GITechFX graphics pack and copy pasta that into here. And in this case, I've already done it, so I'm just replacing the file. Okay? Alright. And then your Reshade shaders, you should see pretty much just these ones for the ones you selected. There's a couple that download as well, like downloaded FXAA, but we're not going to use it. And then a couple of these are basically ones that download regardless of what type you pick. So, are they included with the packs that we selected? Okay. The main thing to take away is that you are only going to enable these 5. And if you throw in this little ini file and put that as your preset, it's going to do it anyways. So, alright. Here, just another note, I've got my games here. The main one we're concerned with is Xenoblade Chronicles X. I have my DLC installed, I have my update data, and I have the actual game itself. Okay, these are all Lodine versions. Alright, so what we're going to do here, let me send that to the desktop. Okay, so I created my little shortcut there. I just sent that to the desktop. Okay, so we got our game. We got Reshade installed. We've got Cemu installed. We've got Cemu Hook, graphics pack, and GITechFX for XCX. Any file, all installed into our Cemu folders, and everything set up except one thing. So now what we're going to do is, this is for Nvidia cards. We're going to go into Nvidia control panel. I hope this doesn't screw up my recording, so we'll see. First off, you need to go to Manage 3D Settings. You're going to set your DSR factor to 2.25. Okay? Set it to 2.25. Once you set it to 2.25, then you're going to go here to change resolution. Right now I'm rolling at my native resolution of 1440p. I am going to change that to 3840 2160 dynamic super resolution, or DSR. Okay, why are we going to do that? Because we want to internally render at 4K. That way when I enable my graphics packs for 4K, it will be internally rendering at 4K regardless of your actual native output display. And what it's basically going to do is create a sharper image, because we are not going to use the in-game anti-aliasing, and I'll show you that when we bring up our graphics packs. So if I lose you on this recording, I will be back in just a minute, but for now I'm going to change my resolution to 3840 2160. Okay, so looks like we're still recording. Cool beans. Alright, so I changed it to 3840 2160. 9 times out of 10, you're only going to want to do this when you get ready to play the game, because it messes up your scaling and a bunch of other things. Alright, so unfortunately there's no way to just enable DSR with Cemu, because it's not one of the GeForce Experience recognized games. So if it's not recognized as being supported officially by GeForce Experience, you can't do it through the GeForce Experience control panel. You have to do it here manually for the overall resolution. Okay, so now that we've got that set up, we are now going to fire up our Cemu emulator finally. Well, your stupid Windows, because it's not a virus, so you're retarded. I love that Windows Defender protects me from things that I don't need protecting from, and completely fails to protect me from real viruses. Okay, so options, we're going to do a couple things here. General settings. Okay, so I got to remove this. I got to remove that, and I got to rebuild my path. So let's add one, because I changed my path. I had it in a different folder. So I'm going to go to my directory, go to Cemu, and my games folder is in here. You can store your games anywhere you want. So if you just want to store your games like on an external, not an external drive, but on a secondary hard disk drive, just to save on storage space, you totally can. The only thing it's really going to impact is maybe some loading times. And half the time with a Wii U game, it's not really going to be that huge of a deal. I have mine on my SSD because I want to take advantage of the faster loading times. But 9 times out of 10, you can run it on a secondary drive. You just have to set it up. Okay, so pick my games folder. Okay, so there, now I've got my games folder set up. You can run VSync if you want. I don't. I have a G-Sync monitor, so I don't run VSync, but you can. Make sure you do not click Disabled Precompiled Shaders, but what you are going to need to do is click Bicubic for your upscale filter. If you use the bilinear, it's going to look freaking weird. Okay. Right now we're not going to run the overlay, but if you want to, you can. You just pick where you want it to operate. It'll show you your FPS. You can show a lot of stuff. You can show, the default is disabled with an FPS. If you enable it, you'll show your FPS. You can show draw calls per frame. I don't know how useful that information is. What may be useful for you is CPU usage, CPU per core usage, and RAM usage. These two especially because it's an emulator and it's really CPU dependent. Yes, they do use your hardware as far as your GPU, but it's going to really use your CPU quite a bit. This can be useful because what you cannot run when you're running Reshade is, for whatever reason, it doesn't play nice with Riva Tuner. It doesn't play nice with MSI Afterburner. I know it's like one of my favorite programs to use for statistics, to see metrics and all that stuff when I'm capturing anything really, especially running application for the first time. But the two overlays, both of them have to hook into the program. And for whatever reason, when how do I say, when the reshade's trying to hook into it, the overlay for the reshade and the overlay for Riva Tuner, they just don't play nice. So just don't use MSI Afterburner, okay? We're not really too concerned right now with the audio, and we are not going to do anything with the online. Main thing you're concerned with is graphics. If you don't have adaptive sync monitor for Nvidia, it's G-Sync, then enable VSync. I find I have a G-Sync monitor. I don't use the VSync, and it works fine. Okay, so now my games are showing up properly. So we've got CPU mode next. You're going to put it on single core recompiler fast. Okay? It will not work with the dual core recompiler or the triple core recompiler. At this time, which kind of sucks because, like with Breath of the Wild, part of the way that Breath of the Wild's been able to be so playable is that they have fine-tuned and optimized it. So I think last time I checked, you can run it on triple core recompiler and it works beautifully. Alright, we're not going to do anything with the affinity, and we're not going to do anything with timer. Just make sure you have it on single core recompiler fast. Okay? Okay, so this one, you want this on low, fast, for GPU buffer cache accuracy. The buffer cache accuracy has to do with image quality, texture, shaders, and GPU buffer cache, and so it's going to look better, but it will seriously mess up performance. Like I said, this one's pretty taxing on the CPU, so put it on low and fast. Okay, I think we already set up our general settings. Input settings, this is where you're going to set up your gamepad. I emulate the Wii U gamepad. I think this is the one I use. Gamester, I already have one set up. Okay, and controller 1. Load. Okay, there we go. So there's my controller profile. If you haven't already set it up, all you do is you just go through here, make sure it detects your controller. 9 times out of 10 you're going to be using an X input controller, so like an Xbox 360 controller. And so if you're using that, you're going to pick X input, and then you're going to enter in all your keys. Here, you want to pick something that can be for you to show your screen. So I think last time I just had escape. F1. I'll put F1. F1's going to be my show screen. That there, you're going to want to at least set up your show screen settings, because at certain points you're going to need to bring up the gamepad. Mostly for the maps. So you're going to want that gamepad. So I haven't really been able to find a button to map it to for the show screen. I think at one point in time I had the select button. But if you're not playing on the couch, just set a button for your keyboard, because you're going to need to bring it up. Okay? Once you get that set up, you close it out. Alright, what else do I need to set up? This should already be checked. Just make sure it is. Experimental use RTSDC. Auto English. Okay. Alright. I think we're ready to go. Oh, if you haven't done it already, here's what you'll need to do to make sure you install the latest update. You go to Install Game, Update, or DLC. It'll take you to your Games folder. Not that one. My Update Data. And see, it's looking for a Meta XML folder. So right now, I've already got this installed, but I'll go ahead and install it again. It doesn't matter. Go to the Meta folder, go to Meta XML for my update. This is version 48. That's the latest version. You're going to click Open. Now here it says it seems that the selected update's already installed. Do you want to reinstall it? I'm going to put no. Okay. And let's go ahead and do the update for the DLC. Again, this DLC is not necessary, but it can help. And see, it's telling me, it seems that the DLC is already installed. Do you want to install it? So I'm going to put no. But if it wasn't already installed, it'd ask you, do you want to install it? You're going to click yes. And then you're going to run that bad boy. Okay, so we've got everything set up. And so now we're going to run it. So we're going to fire it up. Okay. So we're going to start it. It's taking a little while to compile the shaders. While it's doing that, what you want to do is hit the home button, and the home button is going to bring up your settings here. So you see here, my preset is XCX GITechFX settings, but I'm going to enable each of these. For that, I'm going to enable each one of them, and I'm going to click reload. Now you notice before I did it, it looked kind of blurry, and now it doesn't. And I'm going to click home. And then I'm going to click full screen. And it's going to show the reshade settings again, but this time I don't need to bring them up. Okay, and so actually, let's see here. Let me exit out of full screen. I hit Alt Enter. We're going to enable our graphics packs. I almost forgot the most important part. So you're going to click on Xenoblade Chronicles X. You're going to click on Enhancements. We're going to click AA Removal, Contrasty. We're going to turn Contrasty to Colourful. AA Removal, you just click that box. We're going to click the box for negative Texture LOD. Now, so this one here tells us that we have to restart Cemu. So we're going to set it to LOD -1 max for gameplay. And then for resolution, no, not performance resolution. We're going to click resolution. And what we're going to click for resolution is 3840 times 2160 4K native times 3. Alright. Now I'm clicking reload shaders, but what I'm actually going to have to do here is I'm going to have to restart Cemu. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to click the offline tag so I don't have that little annoying tag. This is optional here. And another thing that's optional but I don't recommend using is the 60 FPS. Okay. There's also different field of views. You can use default, wide field of view, balance. There's all different types of aspect ratios and field of views you can use. So we'll click that and we're just going to put it on default. Okay. Alright, so a couple of these we clicked on, like the negative texture LOD. That told us that we have to restart it. And even if that didn't, when you click resolution 3840 times 2160, that's going to have to cause the restart of Cemu. So we're going to exit out, and we're going to fire it up again. Okay, so just to verify, our graphics packs should all be enabled now. There's our enhancements, and graphics, resolution, internal res, 3840 2160. Okay? So yeah, I almost forgot that step. So apologize for that. You see here, I've actually played longer than this. This is just the last time I reinstalled the game. It says I've played here 2 hours 30 minutes. For the most part, it's been crash free. I had one crash, and it turns out that probably was related to my RAM. My RAM was not operating stably at its XMP profile of 3000 hertz. So, or 3000 megahertz RAM. So, yeah, ever since I've replaced my RAM with my old set of DDR4, it's been working a lot better. Okay, so now we're going to start it again. And as I said here, you give it a few seconds, it's going to compile the shaders. And then we're going to click full screen. And from there, you just play the game. Okay, so there it is. It's running. If I wanted to run FPS, I could. Actually, and just bring it up on the HUD. Alright, so you may not be able to see this, but I am running stably at 30 FPS. Loads up. Overall, the graphics are actually looking pretty sharp. If you've seen the default game, it's kind of blurry because the internal resolution by default renders at 720p internally, and then they did an upscaling method. Okay. We had a little dip there. I think this is an older graphics pack. I probably need to dump the one from what I've been running at, because that's got a lot more shader packs. Okay, so running pretty stably, and overall everything looks really good. Let me verify that. For some reason this doesn't seem like my reshade stuff is working. There we go, that just had a different effect there. Okay. There we go. For some reason, I think it is when I clicked reload. For some reason that inactivated it. But now, okay, so now our reshade's working. And you see it actually has a pretty dramatic effect. We have some FXAA effects going on. Overall, the textures look quite a bit smoother. Like I said, I'm going to dump my other shader cache, and that should help quite a bit. Alright, but we're running, and overall, it's not bad looking at all. Honestly, there'll be times when you play this game and you are seriously going to forget that this is a Wii U game when you're playing on this emulator. Alright, so that's it. Hope you learned something. Hopefully this tutorial helps someone and you're able to get the game up and running and working no problem. And feel free to leave comments below. If you like the video, click the like. If you don't, click the dislike, but at least leave me a comment. Let me know what I can improve. And see you in the next video. If you want to see more, please smash subscribe and ring the bell notification. It helps me so much. Thank you for watching. And this is Josh at Try and Tech, signing off.